think we would get shot. So we were just riding around and we saw this. It says keep out there.
Where?
But I bet we could walk over there. It says to keep out. But I bet we could look right here for just a minute until somebody comes up. Let's try it. Put it in park, baby. And stand guard. We'll be ready to run if we get kicked out. But we just couldn't resist this. What's the name of this road? Bob something. And we looked over and look at this little old abandoned church. Wow. Really cool. Let's take a look. If somebody doesn't want us here, they can come out and tell us to go. And we'll go. Ooh, I can't see in the windows. Could be snaky. Oh well.
There's a graveyard back there.
That's what I'm looking at. Look at this abandoned church. No stained glass windows, but it has a little steeple. That's all caved in. Something lives down there.
Yep, sure does.
I think we just got into Heard County, Georgia. Ouch, ouch, Viney. Get this old abandoned church, and in the back here is a very small graveyard. At least a small marked graveyard. Wow. Here's one that's got words. A couple of them have some words. 2001, Maddie L. Ford, buried here in 2001. That's not too terribly long ago. The ground's sort of smushy here. Buried here in 1993, Slim Richard Ford. Here's the back of this old church. And there's just these few markers. The ground is super mushy. Super mushy. Creepy mushy, actually. To tell you the truth. Check these out. Arch Thrash. He's got a military stone. World War I, 1891 to 1992. Wow, would that make him 101 years old? (1891 to 1992). 101. And he rests here at this little abandoned plot. Fords and Thrash are the names. It's too mushy. I don't want to walk across these because it's super mushy. But Arch Thrash, Private, U.S. Army, World War I, 1891 to 1992. That's 101.
Yep.
Well, God bless you, Mr. Arch. And then next to him, it looks like something thrash. Salister thrash. 1988, Mrs. Salister thrash, so wife and husband. Columbus Ford, 1976, 50 years ago, buried here. Robert Ford, 1971. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 marked graves at this old abandoned church. It's really humid. I'm going to take a quick clean the lens a little bit. It's so humid out here. I just wanted to show you. This is kind of neat. I don't really see anything else. No indentions in the woods or anything. So I guess it's just these folks. If you know anything about this place in Heard County, drop a comment. We'll definitely probably be able to do a search of this guy when we get home. Arch Thrash, since he served in the military. And he was 101. Good life after surviving World War I. Okay, we'll walk back up here and see this old church. It's kind of neat. Lots of vines hanging down. Can't get up to the building much. I'm trying to look to see if there are any other stones, but it just looks like these few. Out here paying our respects then to you guys. I guess you guys don't get many visitors, so we'll say I hope you're resting in peace. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 graves that I can see. Just 7. There's some fencing back there, probably a property line. I don't see any more in the woods. Just these 7 souls buried behind this old abandoned church. Had like a little picnic area. It's all broken down. Oh, a tree fell on it. Nothing to say the name of the church. Maybe something will pop up when we do a search of Mr. Thrash. All viney and taken over. Kind of neat though. Nice and marked to turn around so we could check it out just because we like this kind of stuff. Really taken over by nature out here. Hard to film much in July with a GoPro because it heats up so fast. There's no walking up to that door to check things out. I see something in the window like a chandelier. I can't get over there close enough to hold the camera in the window because it's really itchy, snaky. I don't want to get into a snake, but I'll try. And ooh, there's something stingy there too. This may not be a good idea, but I will try. Nope, it's too mushy. Can't see in there. Can't get up close enough to hold the camera in the window. Something stingy there. I don't want to take a chance of getting stung. Flying around. There's something flying around that window.
There's a wasp nest right there.
Yeah. Old steeple thing.
Oh, that's nice. They boarded that one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Cool. 7 plots back there. Let me walk to the front door real quick. It is bolted. I can see the bolt. An old church. I'll tell you in a minute what this road is. Bob something road. Cool. 7 little plots on the side of the road. And an old church. Maybe we'll find out something about this, but we never know. It's worth stopping by. Cool. It's super hot, super humid, so I have to keep cleaning the lens probably, but I'm going to bring you guys out here because we found another very small church. Found a very small church yesterday, and we thought this one would kind of accompany that one. We do 2 small churches. That church yesterday was abandoned, but we think this church is still in service. Old Mount Bethlehem Baptist Church. Got some. Yesterday's old church had a steeple. This one does not. It does have some cool plants. Somebody's taken some time to put out some cactus and stuff. That's something growing there. I don't know what that is. Looks like some gladiolas. So yeah, this church is still a working church. But it's a tiny church and it has a tiny graveyard, and that's why we wanted to show you. Windows are fogged up.
There's AC on in there.
Well, and they're also frosted so that you can't look in. But this is what kind of drew us here, because yesterday the graveyard only had 7 plots.
11.
What?
11.
Yesterday was at 11?
You said 11.
I'll go back and look at the video, but not many. And this one, what? People next door? We don't want to stir up people. Oh, and there's even some way down the hill there. Cool. It's got a little grave site back here. No central air, but a bunch of little window units. Tucked in the woods. See if I can see the last name. Alvin Vaughn rests here in this quiet little hill. Looks like there's probably some muscadines growing above him there. Scupperdines. Southern grapes, if y'all don't know what those are. They make good wine. Here's another stone like the other day that doesn't have any marking. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll count the ones up the hill. Here's a small, look, about 16 graves only here. Here's a smaller one, nothing marked. Mattie Jones, 1923 to 1993. Born the same year as my mom. This one was born, oh, this lady passed away the year we were born. She was sort of small. Must have been a tiny woman. Very small grave. 1885 to 1960, Sophia Lynch. Willie Shepherd. Looks like this little hill here. But a very small grave site. It is attached to a church with no steeple. The other little church on this video had a little old-time steeple, but this one does not. Fannie M. Wood. So we have Mattie and Fannie. 2002, she was interred here. A little bit more recent than the abandoned one yesterday. If I can get up this hill real quick. Oop, 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 up the hill. Another Fanny. Fanny R. Henry. She would have just had a birthday July 2nd. It's July 3rd, so her birthday was yesterday. Here's one somebody's come out to prop up. And a few plots. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 18, 19, about 20 graves only at this little site. We'll try to see the history of this old church. Born in 1914 and died in, looks like, 1969. Mrs. something. Her stone's pretty cool with the nice cross. This one's being propped up. A military stone. Marine Corps, 1957 to 1986. John Charles Stevenson. Three cement stones. These, to me, really look like somebody came in and just boxed them in with wood and poured some Quikrete of their own right there. And that's okay. A lot of people do that. And now here's an interesting one. This was basically carved with the fingers. John and Lula Brooks. Okay, now isn't that interesting, because yesterday, a few days ago, we just posted a video with another Lula Brooks in Brooks, Georgia, which is about 35 minutes from here. The Lula Brooks grave we find in downtown Newnan is interesting because we just found the same name recently in the Brooks City Cemetery, about 35 minutes away. The Brooks of Brooks, Georgia, may have been slave owners, and some of the descendants of the Brooks in Newnan perhaps took their slave owners' last names. This was a frequent occurrence after the Civil War. Another Lula. But if this is an African American church, then these folks could have been named for the rich white people of Brooks, might have passed on their family names. That's a possibility. Johnny Stevenson, buried here in 1993, born in 1928. One that's unmarked here. The last one that has the name is Mary Teagle, age 72. So here we are at another little church on the side of the road. So two roadside churches with very small graveyards. Kind of interesting. Always seen this small graveyard and wanted to check it out.